Let me ask you something. Have you ever met a woman who just operates differently? She doesn't chase drama. She doesn't need to prove herself in every room. She goes quiet when everyone else gets loud. And somehow, she always seems 3 steps ahead of the conversation. You probably thought, what is going on in her head? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going on. And it's going to make you look at the smartest women in your life completely differently. Because highly intelligent women don't just think differently, they live differently. Their habits, the little things they do every single day, look strange from the outside. Weird, even. But every single one of them is rooted in real psychology. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So let's get into it. The first thing you'll notice, and this one throws people off immediately, is that highly intelligent women are absolutely comfortable sitting in silence. Not awkward silence, chosen silence. They'll walk into a party and not feel this burning need to fill every pause with noise. They'll let a conversation breathe. They'll sit with their own thoughts for hours without reaching for their phone every 3 minutes. And here's why that matters. Research from the University of Illinois found that people with higher intelligence actually prefer less social stimulation. Their brains are already running at a higher frequency. The constant noise of small talk and surface-level conversation, it's almost draining for them. Silence isn't loneliness for these women, it's fuel. Now here's where it gets interesting. These same women, the ones who love silence, are also the ones who talk the most passionately when something actually matters to them. The switch is almost jarring. 1 minute she's quiet in the corner, next minute she's dismantling an entire argument with surgical precision. That contrast? That's not a personality quirk. That's selective energy management. The second habit, and this one surprises people, is that highly intelligent women talk to themselves, out loud. Yes, literally. You'll catch them mumbling while they cook, narrating while they work, whispering through a decision like they're having a conversation with someone who isn't there. Psychology actually backs this up completely. A 2012 study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology showed that self-directed speech improves cognitive performance. It helps the brain organize information, work through problems, and stay focused. Intelligent women figured this out intuitively, long before any study told them to. When she's talking to herself, she's not losing it. She's processing at a level most people don't even attempt. Third habit, and this one will hit close to home for a lot of you. Highly intelligent women are chronic overthinkers, but here's the distinction. They overthink productively. There's a version of overthinking that spirals into anxiety and goes nowhere. And then there's the kind where your brain is genuinely stress testing every outcome before committing to one. Intelligent women live in that second space. They'll replay a conversation not because they're insecure, but because they're looking for what they missed. They'll run through 20 different scenarios before making a decision, not because they're afraid, but because they genuinely want the best possible outcome. It looks exhausting from the outside. Inside, it's just how their mind was built. Fourth, and pay attention to this one, highly intelligent women are obsessively curious about things that have nothing to do with their actual life. A woman who's a graphic designer suddenly deep diving into marine biology at midnight. A lawyer who spends her weekends learning about ancient Roman architecture. A mother of 3 who becomes briefly obsessed with the economics of coffee production. This cross-domain curiosity is one of the strongest markers of high intelligence identified by researchers. Psychologist Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic has written extensively about how intellectual curiosity, what he calls the hungry mind, is one of the biggest drivers of cognitive performance. Intelligent women don't just learn what they need to learn, they learn everything that fascinates them, even if it never becomes useful. And weirdly, it always ends up being useful eventually. Fifth habit. This one will make complete sense in retrospect. Highly intelligent women have a complicated relationship with confidence. And by complicated, I mean they're deeply confident in their thinking, but almost chronically uncertain about themselves socially. They'll walk into a boardroom and command the entire room intellectually, then walk out wondering if they came across as too much, or not enough, or somehow both. This is actually documented in psychology as the Dunning-Kruger effect's flip side. The more you genuinely know, the more acutely aware you are of everything you don't know. Intelligent women are hyper-aware of the gaps in their own knowledge, which can look like self-doubt, but is actually intellectual honesty. The woman who says, "I'm not sure, let me think about that more," is often the smartest person in the room, not the one performing certainty she doesn't have. Sixth, highly intelligent women are night owls. This isn't a stereotype, it's been studied. Research from the London School of Economics found a correlation between higher IQ and a preference for staying up late. The theory is that nocturnal tendencies evolved later in human development and are associated with greater cognitive flexibility. But practically speaking, the nighttime is when the world finally gets quiet enough for a high-functioning mind to actually stretch out. No notifications, no demands, just pure, uninterrupted thought. That's when her best ideas happen. Seventh habit. And this one is genuinely strange to watch. Highly intelligent women get visibly uncomfortable with black and white thinking. You'll say something that seems pretty straightforward. That person is just bad news, or this approach always works. And she'll tilt her head and go, well, it depends. Every single time. About everything. This isn't her being difficult. This is her brain physically resisting oversimplification. Intelligence is deeply tied to the ability to hold multiple competing ideas at the same time, what psychologists call cognitive complexity. She's not being contrarian, she's being accurate. The world is complicated, and her brain refuses to pretend otherwise, even when pretending would be socially easier. Eighth, she laughs at things other people don't find funny. Not in a snobby way, in a genuinely different way. Her humor is often dry, often self-deprecating, often about things that are technically kind of dark or absurd. She finds irony hilarious. She finds elaborate hypothetical situations hilarious. She finds the gap between what people say and what they actually mean really hilarious. Research published in the journal Cognitive and Affective Behavioral Neuroscience found strong links between humor appreciation and intelligence, specifically the kind of humor that requires mental flexibility, like absurdist or ironic comedy. A sharp sense of humor isn't just a personality trait, it's a cognitive one. Ninth, highly intelligent women are deeply, almost ferociously loyal to a very small number of people. Not because they're antisocial. They can navigate any social situation brilliantly, but because they figured out, usually through experience, that depth beats breadth every single time. They'd rather have 2 friendships that feel like home than 40 that feel like performance. And within those relationships, they show up in a very specific way. They remember details. They ask follow-up questions about things you mentioned 3 months ago. They notice when something's slightly off, even when you swear you're fine. This isn't nosiness. It's a mind that naturally catalogs the people it decides to care about. Being truly known by an intelligent woman is one of the rarest experiences there is. And the 10th habit, the one that ties everything together. Highly intelligent women are always working on something privately. A project, an idea, a skill, a plan. You might not know about it for months, sometimes ever. Not because she's secretive, but because she needs the space to develop things without external noise shaping them too early. She knows that half-formed ideas are vulnerable. Other people's opinions, even well-meaning ones, can kill something before it has the chance to become what it was meant to be.
So she incubates. She experiments quietly. She reads and drafts and deletes and rewrites and thinks in the dark. And then, when it's ready, when she's ready, she brings it out. And it's usually extraordinary. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. These habits, the silence, the self-talk, the overthinking, the late nights, the small circle, the private projects, they all point to the same thing. A woman who has learned to deeply respect her own mind, who has stopped performing intelligence and just started living from it. And the strange truth is, the habits that look the most unusual from the outside are often the ones doing the most important work on the inside. So the next time you meet a woman who goes quiet in a crowd, who argues that it's more complicated than that, who's up at 2 a.m. for reasons she can't quite explain, don't misread her. She's not strange. She's just operating on a frequency most people haven't tuned into yet.